V gets hey, what's up guys? What's going on? Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. Newcastle versus Liverpool. Was that a red card? Was that a send off? It most definitely was. When I saw the VAR, I was hoping the VAR was going to show that it wasn't, and the decision was going to be overturned. The decision was going to be rescinded, and he was going to be able to just stay on the field. But no, it was definitely was. He got some ball, but and if he did get the ball, he got the player first. He got mostly player than ball. I don't really even blame him that much. I think it was just a consequence of the first goal, that huge error from Alexander Arnold, which at this point is a liability for Liverpool. I think they need to let him go. They need to sell him. I would even go as far as to say they need to sell him, because it's not the first time. Just last week, was it, against Bournemouth, that two mistakes in a row and then the goal came. And even before that, last season also, he had a lot of mistakes in various games. And I thought for a second there he seemed like he was going to be, coming back. He's going to make a comeback, and he's going to be that, what people used to say, he was one of the best wing backs in the world, with that makeshift position that Klopp ended up giving him. But no, for a while there, it kind of, I don't want to say it fooled you, but it seemed like he was on his way up again. But no, definitely. He's definitely not anymore, and I think he needs to go. He really needs to go. I don't know what happened this game, to be quite honest. It seemed weird, because Newcastle seemed poised to not only defeating Liverpool, but humiliating them in the process. And it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. Cheaper than a movie. Liverpool came back. They made that sub with Darwin Nunez, and they came back. It was pretty much a copy of the first one. Both goals were very similar. A really good strike also. But Nunez isn't the type of player to do this day in and day out. He's not going to do this every weekend. He's not going to do this every game. And that's another problem I have with a player like Nunez, because it cost Liverpool, what, 100 million or something like that? A lot of money. Can't remember. And you have a player that's taking, it's almost like baking a cake or something. How many more minutes? How many more months in his case? How many more years? Is it ready? Is now the time where he's going to start playing? I don't think he's that kind of player at all. And why would you buy a player? And I've said this before, probably at some point. Why would you have a player like that? I heard somebody saying, I think it was an agent or something, or a journalist maybe, saying that he's the kind of player that takes like a couple seasons. What is that? What do you mean a couple seasons? Like, you can't afford. I mean, the money that's at stake. There's so much at stake here when it comes to clubs like Liverpool, or any team that's playing in the EPL, any team that's playing in the Calcio, any team that's playing La Liga. You can't have, like, Rafinha. That's my issue with Rafinha. It's already been a year, and the guy hasn't gotten better. The same thing with Nunez. He hasn't gotten better. I mean, today he proved that this might take him to new heights. He might get better the next game. Now is when he starts taking flight. I don't think he's ever going to take flight. And you can't have $100 million player on the bench and to come in every once in a while. You shouldn't have a player like that. It's just weird to me. It's just strange to me, having a forward like that in the bench. Actually, the first touch that he had, I think it was I can't remember who it was that gave him a sweet ass ball. The easiest thing to control the ball. If you're that kind of player, you're worth that much money. You play in the EPL. In the EPL of all leagues, you should be able to know under pressure. And again, he wasn't under that kind of pressure where he had people grabbing onto him, trying to hold him down in back of him. Nobody's around him. You should be able to just bring the ball down and just push it forward. Easy. I'm not saying score after that. Just bring the ball down and push it forward. It started looking bad. The second goal, it was just a matter of the momentum was on his side, and he just happened to hit the ball just right. Beautiful goals. If I was a Liverpool fan, I would have applauded. I would have jumped out of my seat. Really good goals, and well deserved too. I like Nunez. He's on the bench, for crying out loud. He should be starting at this point. He should be starting, and he's not. I don't know what happened with Newcastle, because Newcastle had pretty good chances with Almiron. That beautiful control. Not even just the strike. The strike to me was secondary. It was the way he controlled the ball with the chest, and then the equally amazing stop from Alisson. Yeah, I thought Alisson was another one that was out of sorts. He was his days were gone. His good days were way behind him. But no, that was some hell of a save. Some reflexes he still has left, it seems. And then the one where he outran 2-3 people, went to his left, took the shot, and ended up hitting the post. You know what? Had that been a goal, that's when Newcastle were going to wake up. And it was weird, because all they needed to do was just kind of control the game. That's it. That's all they had to do, was just control the game and just wear them out. Just wear Liverpool out. You're at home, for crying out loud also. You got that going for you. It was the opposite. It was almost like last season. I don't know if it was the last game that they played last season, when Liverpool went to play Newcastle, and Pope was the one that was sent off for Newcastle. Now I remember, Pope was sent off for Newcastle, and Liverpool played a horrible game, and it was Newcastle that outplayed them. They lost, but they definitely outplayed them. And this time around, it was the inverse pretty much. I wouldn't say they got outplayed by Liverpool, because they didn't. Liverpool were just defending up until the last 10 minutes, but they don't seem that they're that kind of team that can control the tempo of the game. They need to be behind. That's when they come in the strongest. Those are their strengths. Really strange game. Fun otherwise though. So anyways, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Cheers.